Day 1. We arrived. We got the taxi to the hotel, which was 80,000 won. We checked in, had a shower and headed straight out. We headed initially to Itaewon. It was a quiet atmosphere with lots of police and flowers because of last week's events. We found a nice rooftop bar and had a cocktail. Got the train to Insadong, tried some street food and then walked around the streets exploring. Found somewhere for food, had the most tasty chicken and some beers and soju, which we didn't like. It's like a mix of vodka and
yeah, it is actually, isn't it?
Sweet something. Then found a karaoke place where you get your own room and we sang some songs like idiots. And cuts. We tried to get a final beer but found places would only let us in if we were eating as well, but we were full from chicken and extremely tired to the point of delirium, so we headed back to the hotel for some sleep.
Day 2. We went to 7-Eleven to buy some snacks for the day and also purchase a SIM card which would allow us to use internet on the go, i.e. Google Maps and Translate, which helped a lot throughout the trip. We then took a taxi to Seoul train station to get our 5-day train pass, and then from that we also sat on the floor and had some breakfast, which was a combination of, rice things. That's the way that I can describe it. We then caught a 2.5-hour train using our train pass to a place called Gangneung, and sorry if I've butchered that name. And then we got a bus from Gangneung to Sokcho bus terminal. Again, our destination was Seoraksan National Park, so it's a little bit out of the way. So when we arrived in Sokcho bus terminal, we then got a taxi to our hotel, which was just below the national park. Very good location. I think it was about a 5-minute walk away from the entrance of the park, and it was a lovely cosy room. It randomly had a British theme. Enjoy unlimited wine parties with built-in steaks. Can't wait, I love built-in steaks. It was called Kensington or something, was the hotel. And whilst we're having dinner, we were overlooked by Diana and her family, which was a bit weird and strange, but there you go. And then the actual dinner itself was a buffet dinner, and with the buffet dinner we got unlimited wine and beer as well, so definitely made use of that. And then you randomly got a steak with your meal as well, so yeah, very nice and all. So then after all that food and all that alcohol, we decided to hit the hay.
So we woke up early again and had a breakfast buffet in the hotel. One thing that really stood out to me was the colours of the trees. There was lots of really nice yellows and reds, and it was really beautiful.
생각해봤어. 무슨 일일까? 아니 무슨 말을 할까? 아니 무슨 옷을 입을까? 그렇게 금요일이 왔어. 너의 발을 맞추려 할 때마다 넌 밖에 걷는 걸 느껴온 맘만 말도 못한 채 네 옆에 서 있는 내가 널 안아볼 수 있다면 여기까지였던가 어딜 가도 될런가 애매하기만 하다 나의 손을 그어주던가 네가 나를 잡던가 잡힌 손을 주던가 오늘도 외롭긴 너.
We then got the gondola up to the top of one of the mountains so we could check out the views from up high.
너의 발을 맞추려 할 때마다 넌 빠르게 걷는 걸 느껴온 맘만.
We got our bags and got the taxi to Sokcho bus terminal. We arrived at Gangwon and then got taxi to the hotel Sun Cruise. We had lunch with a view whilst we waited for check-in time. We checked in at 2:30 and spent the whole day in the pool ordering room service beer and then had fried chicken later on delivered to the room. The room was absolutely huge and we had a massive bathtub in the room as well.
Day 4. So we woke up at around 6:45 for sunrise. We went in the pool to make the most of it. It was definitely worth getting up. So after we made the most of the hotel room, we left and got back into a taxi and headed towards Gangneung station. We arrived at around 9 AM, but the next train wasn't until around 10:30. We got the train to Seoul after we established our plans and the time was right to get on the train. So we then decided to get the train from Seoul all the way down to Busan. We arrived into Busan at around about 4:30. And checked into the hotel in Seoul, following one of the YouTube videos that we saw, and to be honest it was a great central location for everything that we wanted to do. So after we checked in, we freshened up and then we went out for the evening. Again we got a taxi to Hyundai Market and had some dinner there.
Ready? Oh, it's like what do they call it in America?
Condom.
Yeah, yummy.
We got a train to Gwangali Beach. Went into a random cafe that had pigs, and obviously this was a highlight of the evening. Petted some pigs, fed them. Some birds chewing on my ears as well. No! So I have taken some pics. We then followed on by going onto the Gwangali beach and did the walk on there. Followed by some drinks and some nice bars along that beach. And then I had my second dinner of the night, which I believe is like the equivalent of like Korean fast food. So there was noodles, rice cakes, I think sausages in there as well, and a bit of beef and things. But yeah, it was very delicious and quite spicy as well, surprising. And then I also had a very interesting beer as well, with the smoke coming out. I think it was like a rainbow beer, and it was very interesting but also very delicious.
Day 5. Firstly, we went and explored Gamcheon, which is a really pretty old cultural village in Busan. There are some beautiful views there over all the old colourful rooftops. We got some very unhealthy pancakes that were coated in sugar and then melted cheese. There were some steep steps called stairs to see the stars. The name originated because people get dizzy whilst climbing the steps. There's actually 148 in total, so I'm grateful that we were walking down the way. And there's actually some cool graffiti that's been done on them as well, so that was cool to see whilst going down. We also went in a very quirky cafe that is full of lots of photo opportunities, and you get to feed the ducks as well. Then headed to Yongdusan Park when we went up the Busan Tower to see the views. We then headed to Songdo cable car and got the car all the way across. We had a little walk around and some food and then headed back again. It was only 2 PM still, and we'd ticked off most of the stuff that we wanted to do for the day, so we decided to head to Ulsan. It took longer than we anticipated to get to Ulsan, but made it there for about 5:30 in time for it getting dark, which was nice as the trees were lit up. We got a taxi and then a train all the way back to Seoul and went for dinner to a Korean barbecue place. Okay, rate it out of 10.
7.
What did you think?
Love the concept of all this, get all this in here, show all this. Of all of this, I just feel like there should be some rice. Bit of rice, a bit of meat in. Maybe it's us that have been a bit stupid, we're not like researching it, but we got a load of meat and then we ate all the meat and then that were it. And we thought more meat would come, but it wasn't. So maybe we should have staggered ourselves.
What are you washing it down with?
Soju. Soju Zero.
Which is nicer.
It's delicious. Well, sorry, no, it's not delicious.
It's delicious.
It's not delicious, but it's better than the proper original stuff. Less aggressive.
Not a teaspoon of sugar mixed in.
Have some medicine go down. Definitely not.
We had lots of beer and attempted soju again, which went down a bit better this time. It wasn't as sweet. We then went to another quirky bar for another beer before finally calling it a night around 12.
Day 6. We had a lie-in this morning and then decided to grab a coffee and head to Busan station. From Busan station we were getting the train to Daejeon. Because of Karen, we decided to have a shameful Burger King for lunch, so we flew all the way to Korea to have a Burger King. Wasn't happy, but it was quite delicious as well at the same time. Following this, we had an experience at a thermal foot spa. It was quite an interesting experience. It was very funny. We were shouted at first to wash our feet and make sure we dried them first, and then we ended up wading into the water and having a relaxing foot spa with the locals, which was very interesting. We then got a taxi to Hanbat Arboretum. Forgive the pronunciation if that's not correct. We had a walk around and had a look at some of the marvellous sights and some of the different types of wildlife and plant life. Following this, we then got a taxi to the Clay Mountains, where you actually walk barefoot in the Clay Mountains as well, which was interesting. We did get there quite late, unfortunately, so we didn't manage to do the whole of the hike, but it was definitely a cool experience to hike barefoot, something a bit different, which was, it was really cool. And following that, we got a taxi home, and then that dropped us off at a chicken place for dinner, and we had fried chicken and chips and a couple of beers, and then called it a night, which was very nice.
Day 7. We had another lie-in and then we got up, checked out of the hotel, got a taxi to Busan station and then got the train all the way to Seoul. We arrived in Seoul around 4ish and the hotel was in a really cool area with a really good vibe. The hotel itself was quite basic, but it was a very good price. We went straight out for food. We had chicken and chips again and we had beers to wash it down. We then went to the Meerkat Cafe. There was meerkats, wallabies and a naughty raccoon.
수많은 표정들에 쭉 걸린 내 맘을 대신 전하고 있어 아직도.
Afterwards, we got the gondola up the Seoul Tower.
비스켓도 아니야 쿠키는 더욱 아니지 내 달콤한 사랑에는 초콜릿이 어울려.
There was a really good vibe up there as well. They had a choir that was playing Christmas music, and yeah, it was busy. It was a really good atmosphere.
She loves you. You're gonna hear. She loves you.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
사랑을 할 거야. 한 번만 진심으로 날 대하면.
When we came back down, we went to a rooftop bar. There was unlimited beer for 2 hours, so we made the most of that and had 5 beers. And after all of that, we decided to wrap up the night and head back to the hotel.
Day 8, and what a day it was, such full of randomness. We started off the day by heading to a cafe that was themed around poo. Yep, I said that right, it was themed around poo. So when we arrived, in terms of what we got that looked like poo, we ended up having a rose latte each. Funnily enough, drinking out of a toilet, which I never thought I'd ever do in my entire life. And then on top of that, we had stuffed poo pancakes. Funnily enough, I didn't stop hearing from Karen for nearly 2 days how nice those waffles were. Yeah, if you're in town and you're there, have a try of the waffles. Karen recommends them. So after the poo cafe, we wandered around the shops, headed to Bukchon Hanok village, and walked around the village itself.
시간은 계속 흘러만 가고 기다리다 지쳐 그만 널 놓칠까봐 하지만 성급한 나의 고백을 넌 거절할까 두려워서.
It was a really cool experience. We finally managed to have our Korean cafe experience. And have a nice couple of teas, and also some, I can't remember what they were called. I think they were like sugar biscuits or something like that. They were definitely not the texture that I was expecting. But yeah, that was very interesting and very enjoyable as well. And then from the cafe, or the afternoon tea, or the Korean tea, we then went on to the palace.
Yeah, I'm going crazy. 어쩔 수 없는 걸 널 보면 아무런 일도 할 수 없는 걸. I'm going crazy. 오늘은 너에게 내 맘을 고백할게. 내 맘을 받아줘 영원히.
And during the palace, we saw the changing of the guard ceremony, which was very cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the guard training session. The next ceremony will be offered at Daejeon. Please stand behind the line.
以上をもちまして正面の公開訓練が終わります。まもなく20時、交代式の再建工事が開かれますので、このままに手をご覧ください。時代において 宮殿や人と取り込んで城郭の入り口を守ることは守護者の最も重要な任務です。王室の安全に関わるため非常に責任の重いものでした。韓国で開かれる守護者交代式は様々な城を 하는 진행을 위해서 중앙호도와 관람선 밖에서 관람해 주시기 바랍니다. 여러분의 많은 협조 부탁드립니다.
I think at this point the weather took a turn for a little bit of the worse, and it was the first time it started to rain. But yeah, no, it was really cool watching the whole ceremony. It was very interesting experience. And then we went for a walk. Following that, then we went for a walk around the Cheyenne River. And then went to the markets, which was supposedly the biggest market in Seoul. Yeah, so obviously being a bit of a Westerner, we weren't too sure what to do as such, and we were sort of walking around and having a look. But yeah, from sort of observations and stuff, and through looking at all the signs and all the market stalls, we found something that we felt to be edible and felt that we'd enjoy. Enjoyed some, I think they were crispy beef pancakes. So yeah, aside from the pancakes, we then moved on to a second stall, and at this point we were enjoying lots of mixture of beer and soju.
Alright, but you're gonna shot it and have a little sip. Are you driving?
It's not too bad when you get used to it. Better than
I
it
think,
was.
you know, if you have those onions, I think it actually tastes a lot better.
And then I got talking to a Korean man who was very nice and very kind, and I believe he worked for the police. So we had a bit of an interesting conversation, and as mentioned earlier, sort of lent heavily on Google Translate to make sure he could understand what I was saying, because I have a bit of a weird northern accent as well in the UK. And he introduced us to sort of the traditional way to drink.
Oh, okay, yeah. Ooh,
So what's the what?
Cheers.
Cheers.
No.
Cheers.
How are you saying Gumbe.
How the Koreans drink, which was really cool as well. And again, we shared some drinks, and he told me about the food that was his favourite and things that we had to try as well. So after that, we left quite drunk, I must admit. And from there, we had a very rainy walk back to the hotel.
Day 9. So after a really booze-filled evening, we actually had to wake up at around 4 a.m. for the DMZ trip. That was not fun at all. We actually didn't record any of this because we just felt like it was kind of inappropriate, because the DMZ represents sadness for a lot of people. So we didn't take any videos at all. It was a very tiring day, interesting, but yeah, I was extremely tired and very hungover, so yeah. Following the DMZ trip, we went back to the hotel and had a nap to sleep away the hangover from the night before. In the evening, we went to the Olympic Park. We're actually going there to see the red light, green light doll. However, we got all the way there, which was quite a long taxi journey. We're looking around for the doll, and then after asking some people, found out that the doll was only there as a temporary thing. So a bit of a strange one. I don't know where they would have shipped off that massive doll to, but we didn't get to see it, unfortunately. But Olympic Park was really pretty and really nice at night. You could see the city lights. After that, we went to see the Gangnam Style hands. That was really cool.
오빤 강남 스타일 강남 스타일 오빤 강남 스타일 강남 스타일 오빤 강남 스타일
Afterwards, we went out for dinner and we went to another Korean barbecue place. We enjoyed some really nice fresh food and then headed back to the hotel for an early night and to recover. Day 10, also known as our last day. So unfortunately the trip has come to an end. We woke up and we decided to head to Nami Island for the day.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away.
Nami Island is a small island that's around 2 hours away from Seoul. We got the train and then you get a small ferry over.
이 멜로디 언젠가의 바램들이 언젠가의 약속들이
So we spent the day walking around and exploring. It's a really, really pretty island. We kind of wish that we spent longer there. I think a couple of days would have been perfect. You can actually get small little cabins and stay on the island, and it's really cute. So yeah, if we were to go back, then I would definitely do that for longer. But yeah, so glad that we went and saw that, and that was a great end to the trip. Finished on a high.
알기 어려운 너의 생각들 웃어넘긴 나날들 바래진 계절 익숙한 바람 맴도는 이 멜로디 언젠가의 바램들이 언젠가의 약속들이
So yeah, we had an amazing time. Definitely would recommend going, and yeah, really enjoyed our trip.